All right, welcome back, everybody. Casey on tap. As always, my good friend and professional golfer, Douglas Wade, on the other end of this microphone. Doug, how we doing down there in Dayton, my friend? Beautiful day. The summer has officially begun.
We're doing great. Recovering from our incredible trip to North Carolina. Got some nice weather now, and I've got the Memorial starting today, so it's all good.
Doug and I took the first road trip, Casey on tap road trip. We drove to Apex, North Carolina to take part in the Invincible Foundation for our friend Scott Van Allman fighting childhood cancer, the club at 12 Oaks. Doug, what did you think about that golf course, the Jack Nicklaus design that we played on Monday?
That was a great course. Very, very nice. First time playing it. Great event. It was a fun day.
We have some highlights to chop up, and we'll be putting up on the channel of Doug and I as we made our trek across country. I think those you might find those entertaining. But the bottom line is we played our hearts out, had some great shots, had a great team with Tim and Jay as our third and fourth, but we came just a little bit short. We came in fourth place, I believe, at 16 under par, and the winning teams were 21 and 20, if I recall. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Let's take a quick peek around the world of sports to the NBA Finals beginning tonight. Now, we're recording this on a Thursday, so by the time this is up tomorrow, the first game will have been played. However, we can talk about the whole series. Tonight, the Celtics, game one, are favored by right around 6.5. The over-under is 216.5. Thoughts, predictions, let the crystal ball talk.
I think it's going to be a great series. First off, I'm absolutely taking the Mavs tonight, getting 6.5 or 7 ideally if you can get it. Absolutely taking the Mavericks with the points tonight. I'm also taking the Mavericks for the series. I think plus 200, it's right around there depending on what you're looking at. Plus 200 for the series is too good of a number to lay off for a series that is going to go back and forth. I like Dallas tonight to cover for sure, and I think whoever wins this game, has a huge step forward in winning the series. I mean, you think about the first game with Indiana and Boston. In Boston, Indiana had it won. They had it won, up 3, few seconds left, just foul. They don't foul. They hit a 3. Next thing you know, Boston wins. I mean, that changed the entire, obviously, complexion of the series, and I think it's going to be that kind of game tonight.
Kristaps Porzingis will be making his return to the court tonight after suffering a right calf strain in the first round of the playoffs. The Celtics have not had Kristaps, the former running mate of Luka Doncic. Luka said, I want Kristaps out. And away he went, and now he's back. Mano y mano. All the ESPN experts have, looks like the series going to 6-7 games, either team winning. But for MVP, it's a Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum trifecta. So one of those three. That's what basically everybody's predicting. So there you go. Doug is predicting the Mavs to win. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Mavs in 7.
I'll take the Celtics in 6. All right, so before we take our eyes off the world of sports, we've got the Caitlin Clark story going around with the WNBA, and clearly the women who have been playing in the WNBA and the women who have laid the foundation for this league for the last several years have been paying attention to the hype, the love, and the flowers she's been receiving, and rightfully so. Caitlin Clark is iconic when it comes to women's sports and what she did in Iowa. But she's now feeling the brunt of that in more ways than one, Doug. So any thoughts on the example that she's been being made in the WNBA, taking the beating, taking the licks? What do you think, Caitlin Clark? How do you think she comes out of this? How do you think the WNBA comes out of this?
Well, I think it's getting overblown a little bit. I mean, and I think maybe because it's women and people are looking at it and, gosh, you shouldn't be pushing around like that. But it's been a physical game. WNBA's always been physical. I mean, you see this in the NBA all the time with these rookies. It does seem like there's a little pettiness with some of these other fellow rookies like Angel Reese. Oh, God, I mean, she drives me crazy. I mean, the fans are coming out to see me too. No, they're not, hun. No, they're not. You're not flying. You're not flying charter because of you. So just stop that nonsense. The Fever got a really bad spot too. They had to play 11 games in the first 20 days. That's the most in the history of the WNBA for a team right out of the chute. I'm not sure why they would have scheduled her like that. I think she's tired. She's worn out. She's going to be completely fine. I mean, she's going to be fine. It's a rough year. Their team's terrible. But give her a few years, she's going to be MVP of that league, in my opinion. She's awesome.
Give the analogy of Tiger Woods back in the day when Tiger was coming on tour and all the guys, they didn't much like that, but they needed him. Like, he's the fresh face that brings a ton of new fans. At first, the players in the league had a real problem with it, but eventually it was a long-term win.
You saying that makes me think of something. For those of you out there, go YouTube Tiger Woods Curtis Strange interview, 1997, right before Tiger's first tournament that he had on tour. And many may remember Curtis asked him his expectations for that week, and Tiger just flat out said to win. And Curtis laughed at him and said, "You'll learn. And Tiger learned real quick. And so it's funny. Strange came back about 10 years later, 20 years or so after that interview, and apologized and said he was wrong. But it's hilarious at the time looking back on it, that interview. And Clark's the same. I mean, they're all gonna, and the fact of the matter is, right now in the WNBA, there probably are some people that are better than her. But they're missing the whole point here. She's the one moving. She's moving the needle. She's the one bringing the attention. She's the star, much like a Steph Curry in the WNBA, in the NBA.
Yep.
And I don't why they wouldn't appreciate that more. I don't know. It's one thing you don't have to go out of your way and say, oh, I love her, but you don't also have to go out of your way to make a point that you dislike her either. So there's a little bit of that going on, but whatever. It does make it more exciting.
Yep. Doug refreshed my memory on our road trip to North Carolina. He pulled up that interview with Curtis Strange. He was interviewing Tiger Woods before his first tournament in the Greater Milwaukee Open. And what's interesting is it's just what Curtis Strange apologized for later on, and rightfully so, was Curtis Strange was not a journalist or a reporter. Okay. And it's blatantly, he couldn't disguise his disdain for Tiger any less than he did. And Tiger, at the time, was this young. He wasn't the Tiger that you're thinking about when he was in his prime. He was sitting there as this young golfer, and Curtis Strange clearly has a negative attitude towards him, asks him about the expectations, and he just very innocently, simply says, well, I'd like to play well, and I'd like to win. And boy, Curtis Strange says, boy, isn't that how arrogant? That's just about as arrogant and cocky. What do you think about that? Tiger's sitting there like, what the hell did I just walk into here? I just want to win. He's like, you'll learn, right? So that is jealousy is a real thing. It's an ugly thing. It looks ugly on everybody. And look, the women in the WNBA, they want, why not me? Yeah, I'm jealous. Here comes the new face. Here comes the new Tiger. So she's going to take her licks, but hopefully they all latch on and understand what she can bring to that league, which is a ton of cash, ton of revenue, which benefits all. All right, Douglas, that's a quick look around the world of sports. Let's go to our fan feedback. What do you say? Fan feedback from our last podcast. Let's go to Tim in Lansing, Michigan. War paint, LOL. That's it. From Tim in Lansing, Michigan. Fan feedback number 2. Snapchat should be renamed Sex Chat. Relationship killer. That's from Ashley in Cincinnati. Thank you, Ashley. And finally, love the mailbag segment. Hope you keep those coming. Pun intended. Perv Nation Unite. Mark in Indiana. All right, Mark. That's how you get the mailbag started, folks. What do you say, Doug? We've got a few good ones today. It's summertime. People want to, people have relationship questions, and they come to us on Casey on Tap for the advice. You ready for number 1? Number 1, right here from Nicole, 27 years old. Recently fell asleep while boyfriend was performing oral on me. Now it's 3 days later and he's still acting weird and butthurt. What should I do? Nicole.
Well, you should apologize. I mean, apologize to the man. You know, and
boy.
if you fell asleep because he wasn't doing anything,
Well, that's
well,
not
I mean,
fair.
if he fell asleep because he wasn't doing it the way she likes, then she should tell him that, communicate. But if she just had a long day and was tired, she should apologize and say she was sorry. And you know, it seems what's wrong with that?
She could have narcolepsy.
She could. If she does, she should tell him that as well. That should be known.
Apologize for a medical condition, or wait, I got it. Or no, that's it. You go to your doctor. Okay, hopefully you've got a family doctor that you've known for quite some time, and you say, "Listen, doc, I need some help here. I need you to write me like school, like when you would have to go to school, get a doctor's note. She needs to get a doctor's note that says, "Dear boyfriend, dear Mr. Cunnilingus, my patient has narcolepsy. Thank you. Love the doctor." And then you have all of a sudden she has a medical excuse and he can't. What are you going to do? You can't bust her chops about that. Like, here's my doctor's. Hey, you want to send me to detention? You want to suspend me for not going to school? Oh, doctor's note. Sorry. Narcolepsy. That's what you do. But then you have to keep falling asleep during the act. But, it's okay. It's well worth keeping the relationship
I guess
healthy.
That's one alternative. Well done, Case. Well done. Good option.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, because otherwise I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, my boy. I mean, my boy's not. I look. Boy, that would be weird. Let me think about that for a minute. Okay, I'm doing. Okay, let me see. I'm doing.
She sound asleep.
Right. I'm trying to look. Maybe he was doing the alphabet. Remember the old alphabet?
How long was
trick?
he down there for? This is my. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she should just apologize. That's it. I was tired. Long day. I appreciate you. Working with me there, but I'll be better next time.
Yeah, here's the deal. You want to go doctor's excuse, but you can't let it happen again. And if so, maybe bring in a cuckold. Maybe bring in a cuckold, a third, to give him lessons. I don't know.
That would, yeah.
All right. Oh, bring in someone, and you stand in the corner, cuckold boy, and let this guy show you how to. Oh boy, okay. Moving on. Jeff, 28 years old, been dating my girlfriend for almost 2 years. Recently, a good friend of mine sent me a screenshot of her active profile on Tinder. Should I confront her or just leave? Jeff, 28 years old. Got a girlfriend for 2 years who's up on Tinder trying to get a little Tinder active. Whoopsie daisy.
I'm creating a profile, and I'm becoming a match, and I'm gonna get that connection, and we're gonna meet up, and then I'm and I'm just it's gonna be big. Just it's gonna be grandioso. That first meeting will be nice. So I'll have all our family and friends there. It's gonna be big. Yeah, good one.
I actually know a couple people who've done that. True story. Where can you imagine where they've actually done that and somehow they hooked the other person on and they met and the person was meeting their spouse or significant. I actually know people that have done that. So that's one way to go about it. But here's the problem with that. That even if it did work, let's say you did match up, and then can you imagine how hurtful that would be? Devastating. I understand.
You have to be in concession, then it's over. I mean, you're doing this knowing you're going to end it. There's no. Yeah, no.
Right.
It's over no matter what.
I don't know. Listen. Yeah, I get that. I understand that perspective. Me personally, I wouldn't want to walk in on that. I think if you wanted to catfish her, and if you wanted to. Because it said her profile is active. If you want to message her with a different username, picture, and see if she responded, because ultimately, if you could hear Doug, let's say somebody saw that if they confront them, what are they going to say? Oh, it's an old profile. That's what they're going to say. Oh, that's not, you know what I mean? That's an old profile. So you need to find out if it's, because I mean, I guess there could be some old profiles out there, but if it's an active, real one, and this is your girlfriend of 2 years, if it's active, then obviously the answer is you need to go. That's the answer. You can go as far down the rabbit hole if you'd like. Do what Doug's talking about. You can have balloons, have a surprise party for her. You know, you could call it the Tinder surprise party, whatever you want to do. Record it, put it online. I'm sure it'll go viral. But there you go. All right.
We can do, and if you do that, let us know. We'll try to do an episode from there. You know, live
right.
at the bar.
Yeah. Oh. No, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Okay, we want you to do that, Jeff. Get it set up. We will do our first remote podcast. Oh my God, yes! Great idea, Doug. Right there. That was you. Awesome idea. Hell yes. Welcome back, everybody. We're live at TGI Fridays here at the Tinder surprise party for Jeff and his former girlfriend. Hey, everybody. Hey, oh. Hey, Grandma, come on over here. You can have a shot of tequila. Okay. That'd be fun. All right, next one, Douglas. Amanda, 31 years old, from Columbus. Fiance goes out to drink with his friends 3 to 4 nights per week. Has slowly increased from 1 to 2 nights per week, and I can't stand being around him after he's been drinking. Any advice on how to approach this, make him scale it back?
Well, I mean, again, this is something that if you don't address, it's just going to continue to become a bigger and bigger issue. You're going to have to sit down and communicate and discuss, tell them, and say, hey, we need a change here. That's it. You got to lay it out. You got to lay it out. You got to talk to them about it. There's no way you're going to get around this without talking to them head on about it. Right?
Yeah. That's correct. And you've come to the right place here because you're talking to not Doug, but me. You're talking to a Mariano Rivera first ballot unanimous Hall of Fame drinker here. And I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give this to you straight. Alcohol continues to be the most cunning, deceptive, tricky thing to deal with in relationships. And it's the devil, in my opinion. Here's the deal. I was once married, and my marriage ended very badly. And frankly, probably never should have been married. And I can remember, wanting to go out with the guys and defending going out with the guys. And you're 31 years old, you're engaged. If he's going out with the guys that often to drink, he has a drinking problem, number one, or a problem trying to find women, number two, or a problem trying to stay away from you and he doesn't want to be with you, number three, or a combination of all three. And the reality is you can't talk him out of the things that he's not aware of. Okay, you can write that down. You can't talk somebody out of something that they're not aware of. My advice to you, sweetheart, would be to have one real heart-to-heart, face-to-face, serious conversation about it. Is this what you want? Do you want to be engaged? Are you aware of the commitment that a marriage is? Do you realize that this is time we should be spending together? How significant is your relationship with alcohol, etc.? But don't expect very much from those questions if he's increasing his social time with his buddies. Okay, so drinking's it's a real thing, and you see a lot of young people that are engaged that don't really understand what marriage is. And, it's a party. Hey, getting married is fun. Being married is challenging, right? And that's when the rubber meets the road. So hopefully that helps. Hey, we'll invite you to the surprise Tinder party that we're going to have. We can invite her to the surprise Tinder party from the one before, and then maybe when they break up, she can be with that. You see what we're doing here?
Well,
we're bringing people together.
Hopefully they don't break up. Hopefully, they can communicate. But if he's still going out 1 to 2 nights a week, since we're going to be at a sports bar already, that could count as one of his nights out. So, and she'd actually be with them. So that, it's a win-win there.
We're solving problems. Win-win. No, win-win-win. We win too. There's wins all around. All right. Last, but certainly not least, The fourth question this week on the mailbag. Hey, Douglas, this is a doozy here. Look at this one. This is a doozy. No, this is a good one. Amy, 31 years old. My husband loves to role play before and during sex, which I have no problem with and actually enjoy as well. So far, so good. However, recently, he's been saying the wrong name during intercourse, even when we aren't role playing. Or he's saying the wrong name, meaning it's not attached to the current scenario that we're acting out. Example, he says the name of the school nurse when it's supposed to be a cop arresting a bad guy scenario. Should I be concerned, feel weird, or address it? In other words, some of these names might be attached to ex-girlfriends that he's had in the past. Thank you. School nurse. Whoops. So I think what she's saying is she was trying to use which by the way, I really appreciate. The school nurse supposed to be the cop bad guy scenario. I think what she's saying is, let's say they're role playing like their name is, I don't know, Allison. And she's saying, and he's saying, he's not saying Allison, he's saying a different name. And she's like, where's that name coming from? Type of deal. He's confusing the names now during intercourse. Like it's all just it's all confused. How would you feel if, Doug, if someone was saying someone's calling you the wrong name, and it was
I'm trying to really think about this and see exactly how. Yeah. Like one time, okay, if this has happened regularly, like how do you not feel?
Right?
What's going on here? Why are you not getting the right? And this idiot, it continues to do it. That doesn't even, something's not, this is almost too surreal to even believe, because you would think after the first time he'd be on high alert. If he was doing something wrong, he would be on high alert after the first time he screwed up. It almost makes me think this guy's just so dumb that he's innocent, because this is not something you would screw up more than once. It really isn't.
So dumb that he's innocent. I like that.
Right? I mean, how do you call the wrong name?
But well, here's the thing: is that when you're in the thralls of an orgasmic experience, when you're in that moment of bliss and ecstasy, is his brain working properly? His highlight reel is clearly the problem is we all have a highlight reel. His is short circuiting. It's malfunctioning. His brain, the highlight, he's out of control with where his brain goes during that. The train's off the tracks. And he's just barking out names. He's got school nurses. He's got cops and robbers going, firefighters, ex-girlfriends.
And
Amy's like, wait a minute, hang on. You bring it back. Can you say Amy every once in a while?
Well, it is possible he's fantasizing about other people since they're role playing. I guess that could be a concern.
Right,
whether he's actually has done anything is a whole different conversation. But yeah, I'd be a little concerned.
Oh yeah, we all have a highlight reel.
If this is true, yes, I'd be concerned and I would bring it up and I would say, what's going on? Why is this happening? Bizarre.
I have an idea, Amy, and here's what we need to do. We need to get get a thick colored tape. And what you need to do is you need to go on your ceiling and you need to take the tape and you need to put a gigantic A-M-Y. This is how we help people. This is people helping people. Well, this is how we do it.
Are they using her name now?
Hang on. And then you tell him, you say, look, let's say his name's Billy. You say, Billy, here's the deal. When I'm riding you like the frickin' wild buck that you are, I'm going to be opening your eyelids and you just say that name that you see on the ceiling. And we're going to reprogram your mind and get the train back on track that way. What do you like? So Doug, so his eyelids, she would be holding his eyelids open, and he'd go, Amy. Do you see how that helps both? They're both better off.
Well, that's assuming one, that he's agreeable to be in that position all the time. Two, are they actually using her name, or could they be using different names each time, and that's what's confusing him? I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. This is.
You make a good point though, because different positions. I guess you could have that taped. You could have that name, depending
tape
on
it on her forehead. Write it and mark her.
Yeah, but what if she's facing away? To your point,
put it on her back and her forehead. You should be.
Yep. Amy, listen. If you're not against having your name, maybe not permanent marker, but written on your back and then like on some walls around you, I think maybe we could fix this. I think it's fixable. I mean, it's listen. You get someone like me. If I'm with a woman and she's saying different names, that's okay. Whatever you need to do, it's all good. But I guess when I was 31, that might hurt my ego a little bit more too. But now it's like, when we're done, if she says, "Did I call you Marcus?" I'm like, "Of course. It's one of my nicknames. Don't worry about it. It doesn't bother me in the slightest." Okay. When's the last time you were called a different name, Doug, if ever? During the act?
I don't think that's ever happened to me. Thankfully. That one, I don't. That's a tough one to. It's a tough one to overcome. Really.
Yeah, if it's accidental, it would be. I mean, look, the old saying in life: it's not about what happens to you; it's how you react to it. No big deal. Let their minds just be swimming in creativity, swimming in the highlight reel. Let it be. Like Paul McCartney says, whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. All right, that's it for the mailbag this week, Douglas. And I know you're in Kentucky for your daughter's basketball game. So any last parting words of advice for the people until we meet again here very soon?
All right, here's some advice for the people. Let's talk greenside bunker shots. So many people struggle with greenside bunker shots. It's all in the setup. Hear me out. We're going to assume you're right-handed. Open the face up. Open the face up. Move the ball forward in your stance. The ball's not in the middle of your stance. It's up by your left heel. Now move about 80% of your weight to your left side. You've got the face wide open. So as a result, you're going to aim slightly left of the target. Now I want you to imagine a line about an inch behind the ball. You're going to hit straight down on that line, an inch behind the ball, and follow through. Because your face is open, you've added a bunch of bounce to the club. It's going to go right through that sand. Ball's going to pop up right onto the green. Soft ball forward, weight left, face open, hit down behind it, follow through. There you go. You can Venmo me if that works.
Millions of people are going to love you if they can just get their golf ball in the green, Doug. So I think that's fantastic advice, and I'm going to go out there and practice it today. So thanks for being here. As always, you look great. You sound great. I love you, and the people love you. So until next time, my friends, for Doug Wade, my name's Casey Wandell, and see you next time on Casey on Tap, where anything goes.